Babbage fell madly in love with this girl, Georgiana, that he met at this party. And they married despite his father's wishes. His father, actually a banker and a goldsmith, really frowned upon his son marrying so early. He didn't like a lot of the circumstances around the marriage and threatened to disown him. And Babbage married her nonetheless and was very, very happy, happily in love. They lived for a number of years quite happily. They had children, and then in 1827, there was a disastrous year for Babbage. A fever epidemic sweeps through all of England, and he loses his father, his wife, and 2 of his children all in the same year. And then he did, in 1828, he did what many British people did when they had a nervous breakdown. He went to Europe. So he went to Europe, he went to Italy, and he was in his hotel room in Italy. He stares out the window of his hotel room, and he sees Mount Vesuvius, the famous volcano. And he knows that it's dormant. He knows that it's currently not really that active. And so he gets this brilliant idea that he wants to understand the mechanics of how a volcano works. So he arranges to have himself carried to the top of the volcano and lowered down into the dormant part, where he conducts a geological survey, because that's what you do. And while he's on the inside, he notices there is an active part, a small active part, and there's a rocky ledge that leans out over the active part of the volcano. And he times the micro-eruptions, and then he lays down, he stares into the heart of the volcano, and then pulls himself out before the next eruption. And at that point, once I made the connection to what had happened the previous year, I thought, Babbage is lying in his memoir. He's not doing this because he's curious about the natural world. He is really on edge. He has no idea what he wants to do with his life at this point. So I wrote about it. I thought, well, how can you not write about this, right? Babbage descending into Mount Vesuvius, 1828. All day your company has carried you on the backs of horses and men, humoring your strange obsession with flame and ash. Now, long before dawn, you stand heavy at the crater's edge, rope in hand, walking stick and measuring gear at your side. Below you, a plain of fire and darkness spidering out like the blood vessels of an eye revealed by artificial light. No one is eager to follow you down. The raw earth exhales sigh after poisonous sigh. Your feet are lost in the gray remains of unmade stone as you ride deeper into the cindery maw, as you descend onto the troubled skin of what might be hell. Here the world is always being destroyed beneath your feet. Your walking stick turns to a pillar of flame, a poor guide home. Everywhere the hot breath of death and decline, everywhere between the time bursts of molten light and heat, the song that tears through all the layers of earth, through so many moving parts. How it beats like sorrow in a locked room, like the name of a love buried beneath a mountain of iron and clay. It's a dark place here within your heart, at the end of a world emptying itself of meaning, translating loss into fire and ash. What is grief to a man surveying a landscape that will never be here again? What is the void that burns the sky with a yellowish light? Here, in such radiant absence, you turn your eyes away, imagine again her hand, her face, her skin.